This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean, folks?
But if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 119. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer.
It's October the 17th. Welcome back to the show, Spencer.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
On this day in history, the London beer flood.
Oh, no.
In 1814, vats of beer at the Moe and Company Brewery burst, flooding city streets with 610,000 liters of beer.
What is that in American? I'm just joking.
The almost 15 feet tall wave of porter killed 8 people, some of whom were gathered for a funeral. This is like
what a way to go, though.
That's a horrible story.
There's nothing else better that happened today. That was the biggest thing. In
1956, Bobby Fischer wins the game of the century. The chess match between 13-year-old Fischer and Donald Byrne took place at the Marshall Chess Club in New York City. I'm assuming Bobby Fischer won. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, robots beat people at chess now, so who cares,
Yeah.
Do you know how to play chess?
Yeah. I mean, not good, but yes,
I don't know.
I have basic moves.
I just know that the king kills the the queen kills the king, and checkmate.
I know no strategy.
Yeah.
But I know how each, the bishop can go diagonal. I know how they move.
Right.
But I couldn't think 3 moves ahead of anybody.
No, that's crazy.
But that's what they do. They're
That's crazy.
6 moves ahead. They're like, oh, you're playing the Sicilian defense or whatever.
Is that real? Did you just make that up, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably something in fencing.
Okay. Fencing. How is your fence coming in the back?
Hey, we got posts in. We got concrete
Nice.
in the post
Nice.
holes.
Yeah, because it was tore up last time I looked at it.
Yeah. We just gotta get the vinyl. Which
The English language is so stupid. Yeah. There's just fencing and fencing and anyway.
What side of the fence are you on when it comes to fencing?
Oh.
I don't know, but I'll fence you about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have been gone for a minute, and, I feel like we have relatively reasonable excuses. And I know all 500 million of our fans have been disappointed that it's been a month since we've done an episode, and we left you with our tragic September 11th thoughts, and then, couldn't bring ourselves to do another episode.
No, we were too sad.
But in reality, I moved, and I was kind of too busy to do much else that week. A couple weekends ago, I moved into my fire shack, I need to come up with a good name for it.
Like burnt house.
Burnt house? Burnt shack. I just like the word shack because it's so small.
Yeah.
You know what's nice about having a small house? If anyone wants to tour it, you just walk in the door and say,
This is it.
This is it.
My bedroom's through that door.
The kitchen, kitchen, living room. Yeah.
It's cozy. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've gotten more stuff done finally because
we should start at the beginning.
The second reason, there's a beginning to that.
Well, our band Rejected Takeoff was going to play a show.
That's right.
And we were pretty excited.
Yeah, and then last minute, day of, our drummer threw out his back sneezing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He's a doctor though, so it's okay. Just know that even if you're a doctor, you can throw out your back sneezing. So that's why we canceled the show. So we're sorry if anybody showed up and.
Yeah.
I mean, you could listen to the other bands.
Like
it's
anybody
fine.
did, but
You never know.
there was 2 tickets sold.
Actually, after you posted about it
Uh-huh.
on social media, I had 4 people text
Really?
and say, "Is everything okay?" They thought one of us had coronavirus.
Well,
Because you put you put on the thing due to an unforeseen medical.
Yeah. Well, that
I know. I know.
I'm not going to go into the details of why.
He may or may not have had COVID as well, but it's
Sure.
So that's what started this all.
I can't imagine any of those other people listened to us. So what happened is I told the venue that he had COVID because
It's easier.
it was. It was
it's
easier
than saying he
and
sneezed and threw out his back.
it ensured that there was no possibility of them saying, "Oh, well, here's a replacement drummer that can come and learn your songs in 5 minutes." And,
right.
anything like that. So, but yeah, he just threw out his back. That was the unforeseen medical
I
condition.
mean, you can't play the drums with the thrown out back.
No,
I mean,
you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
So I thought, hey, we should record an episode a couple days later.
And we didn't.
And you had...
Well, I moved.
You moved, so you were busy, and then you threw out your back.
Well, it's not so much throwing it out.
Right. I mean, what do you call it?
Well, it's sciatica is what it's technically called. Sure. And to anyone that's ever had it, you know what it is.
Screaming, shooting pain.
So your sciatic nerve, it runs from like your
lower area,
your spine, and then it wraps around in your lower back.
Yeah.
And then it goes down your butt, and it goes all the way down to your toes. And if it gets pinched or if something is inflamed around it or whatever, it is unimaginable pain. It's terrible. Yeah. And I've always had issues with it, but I've had three times when it flares up, I guess, for whatever reason. And actually, all times have reasons. The first one was I was delivering pizza, and the car, I had a really low to the ground car, and with getting out, I was getting out not right of the car, and
there isn't a right way. You got to swing your legs out.
Yeah, and it put a strain on it, and it caused it to flare up, and it hurt so bad I had to quit that job. Like I could not do it.
Yeah.
And the other time was in Colorado, and I was working in the dairy at King Soopers, just from lifting and everything, and I had to take, I think, 2 or 3 weeks off.
Wow.
And then this time was after the move, and this has been the worst one I've ever had, and I couldn't walk. Like not only could I not walk, like any movement caused shooting pain, and I was in my bed. I couldn't go to my desk job. It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't sit up. It was awful. So much so that I messaged Ethan. I was like, "Can you just give me something?"
Yeah.
And
he is your primary care physician.
Yeah. And
it's not HIPAA for me to say it, right?
I don't know.
It's only if he says it.
Yeah, HIPAA it gets misconstrued all the time.
It's only if the doctor says it.
I think it's specifically
or professionals
for pharmacies that I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can talk about your ailments all day long publicly.
Well, yeah.
But Ethan, because he's your PCP,
it just depends. If I told you about my ailments, then you can talk about it. But if Ethan told you, then you'd be betraying Ethan's trust, and then he could get in trouble.
He would get in trouble.
Either way, you're cool.
Yeah, I'm good either way. Yeah. I mean, which he has. You should know. He's told me everything.
No, well, he does tell us stories, but he never tells names.
No, he told me everything you have. He showed me your chart.
Well, it was pretty. It probably just says pain caused by fat, shortness of breath caused by fat, migraines caused by fat. I don't know.
He wasn't my prescribing doctor when I got CPAP.
Oh, really?
Do you remember the CPAP story?
Yeah.
Interesting story. I had life insurance, you always get the basic one from work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's always different everywhere, but like the basic package, and then you can add more for like $10 a month.
Right.
Prudential, I think it was Prudential, turned me down because of Ethan's report on me that I have CPAP and been diagnosed with depression and anxiety.
Unbelievable.
Right? But then I get a new job.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the Hartford.
Uh-huh.
It's one of the. It's the two. I can't remember which way it goes.
Right.
They approve me.
They're like, whatever, we don't care.
Yeah, I got like a $500,000 policy.
Don't die.
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't understand. I mean, to some point those expire, right? Like, it doesn't go all the way up until you're like 90 or something,
right?
Because it seems like that would be a losing gamble.
Every year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can buy term life insurance, right? So you you can call and say, hey, I'm 37 now. I want a policy until I'm 50. And they'll say, okay, based on everything, we're going to charge you $20 a month, and we'll renegotiate at 50.
Okay.
But when you're doing it at work,
Right.
it's open enrollment every year.
Right.
So
I
it can go up every year.
I just click buttons till it says I'm done. with
every
my
every
insurance.
job I've had has always given me like at least salary times 2
That would be nothing.
as a life insurance to my family, right? But I always do the max just because it's cheap.
Yeah, so that way we know if you die, we look at Ashley first to see if maybe she was interested in that.
Yeah.
That
Did I tell you that? Did I tell you my response when I found out I got approved?
Huh? No.
So, okay, I thought I told you this story. I was on my computer. I got the email. It's like, hey, your life insurance has been approved for $500,000, and I was like, yes. And then I had a moment of like, wait, I shouldn't be happy about that. But it was a weird.
Hey, honey, get out the knives.
Yeah, it was a weird existential feeling of like, well, if something happens to me, at least my family will be okay. And I was more excited about that than I was depressed about possibly dying.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, I don't know if it's
No,
good.
I mean, it's something.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is something. You're right.
Yeah. So that's what kept us away
Well, then you got sick.
last week, and then I got a cold. I started feeling it coming on Sunday, and I thought on Monday I was like, maybe this isn't gonna happen, and then Tuesday went downhill, and I full on got a cold. I never thought I had Rona, but some of my bosses thought I should get tested. Blah 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 blah. But no Rona for me.
And Quinn got sick too.
Yeah,
we got
so
her
we were all
tested,
sick,
and no Rona here.
But so I went to go get a Rona test the other day, and as I was driving in, it brought back all the memories from last year. And last year was crazy, man. It was so crazy. It made me feel really icky and just
no, all of the memes and stuff about 2020.
Yeah.
It's completely true.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to continue to look back on that year in our lives like, oh my.
I mean, it was just terrible. And just the weird feelings of, March 11th when stuff just started sliding down and you realized that this was actually a big deal.
It all started with Kobe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right.
Right?
In February. He died in a helicopter crash because of COVID.
And the year was basically over after that. It was like, I don't know. It was a really weird year. Like, I'm not trying to be one of those like, you don't understand at all. But there's also something about having like a 3-year-old and now she's 5 from that time to that time. It's like, what happened?
I know. We're rolling at the end of 2021. We're still not completely done with this thing because people.
No, we're not even close.
Yeah,
we're headed into.
You know what?
The worst.
I just hit the find my
phone. I don't think it bled through.
Weird.
But did you find your phone?
Yeah,
okay.
It was right in front of me. I don't. I was watching. What was I watching? Oh, I was watching World or baseball playoffs. Packed stadiums, no masks.
Yeah.
I was watching football, packed stadiums, no masks. So, I don't know. I guess.
I mean, I get the daily update from the New York Times.
Yeah.
And it has the graph from the entire pandemic.
Uh-huh.
And it's certainly down.
Yeah.
It's on a downward trend. However, if you draw a line where we are and go back in time, we're at about where we were in February, which was pretty shitty.
Right.
That's where we are now. Now we're trending down, but we're also headed into cold and Thanksgiving.
Right.
And, Halloween, people are going to put, like, instead of razor blades and apples, it's going to be COVID.
Can you?
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Oh, man.
But
so, so that's where we've been. I feel like those are decent excuses.
But we're back, and we promise that we'll try to do another episode.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
We promise.
No amount of time, just.
Yeah, well, I promise we'll try
not
to
even
get,
before the end of the year? Or?
We will try to get to 120 is the promise I will make. We will try.
We should have had 50. We started the year at 100, and we're only at 19.
I'm not making any promises.
I know that because I counted up all the different shirts that I've worn.
I think there's an easier way. I think every podcast app will show
I didn't know that we started the year at 100 until.
Speaking of shirt, what do you got today?
Oh, it's another Star Trek shirt I made.
That looks like the Allspark.
No, it's the Borg Cube.
Oh, okay.
It's a Borg Cube.
Borg Cube.
And it says futile because resistance is futile.
I should be like, I know that was ignorant, all right? But it's a cube.
Yeah.
And it's sci-fi.
Yeah. The Allspark isn't in a.
It's like a cube. It turns into a cube. Remember, and they put it in their chest.
Yeah. Transformers.
Speaking of sci-fi,
Yeah.
I like sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
I've never watched Star Trek like you. I don't know why. Actually, I did growing up with my parents.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not for
I
everybody.
think it was the next generation at that point. Would
Probably.
that be right in the
yeah,
90s?
Yeah, that's what I watched with my dad.
Yeah. But I have like a 45-minute drive to fill one of our vending machines.
Right.
So 90 minutes or 2 hours basically that I can back and forth. So I get some Audible books, right? So one I was listening to was about all the Apollo missions. And the other day, or a few weeks ago, I was talking with some friends, and Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian, wrote a new book called Project Hail Mary. It's like a 15-hour listen, you know? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was a fan of science fiction novels. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's never been something I've always kind of I've drifted towards nonfiction, you know? But that book is really good.
Well, you know, it depends on the sci-fi for me. Well, that's not true. I like most of it, but I really enjoy the actual Earth in the future sorts of, you know, especially when it's reasonable, you know, not completely like, come on, guys.
That's what I like about Andy Weir. Well, I should be fair. The only two works I know of him, I did download another book he wrote,
right?
But I've seen The Martian, and then I've listened to Project Hail Mary, and he's got a good wit.
Huh?
You
They're
know?
gonna make a movie out of it?
They really should.
What's it about? Sounds like a dystopian Earth is about to explode kind of movie.
Yeah, kinda. The plot is a guy wakes up on a spaceship by himself.
Ooh,
that's how it starts,
creepy.
And he can't remember anything.
I just finished a sci-fi series that made it. It did 3 seasons. What did I watch it on? Oh, I think it was on CBS. What was it called?
Remember that show Gravity?
The movie?
No, sorry. It was a series. I'm pretty sure it was called Gravity, but it got canceled after 1 season. It was so good.
Wait, the Mars one?
No, that was another one last year. Gravity's pretty old. Let me see if I can find it too while you're looking up.
Anyway, I watched this show about. It was a terrible show. The concept was good, but then it just went off the rails, and I just had to finish watching it because I just, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was about an asteroid that's coming to hit Earth, and it's too big to, if they hit it with a nuke, it's going to split and do worse damage, and then it gets.
So they literally said we have to address the Armageddon plot first.
Yeah.
And explain why that won't work.
Well, yeah.
Because that's where everybody's going to.
Right.
You're like, it worked so well for Bruce. Like, it's got to work. Defying gravity was the
Did you know they're trying the Bruce Willis way right now just to test it? Did you see that? NASA is?
We've actually launched a nuke into space?
Look it up. I don't know if it's a nuke, but we are launching a satellite that's going to rendezvous with some sort of a comet or asteroid or something. And
I mean, I know we landed on one a few months ago.
Yeah. This is I believe this one's going to try and nudge it or something. I can't remember.
I feel like we could model that with like it's like maybe like put a booster on it. That could work. I mean, it's just inertia.
On.
You know what I mean?
Better look it up. Anyway, this stupid show that I watched, it started off okay, and then it got like political, where all of a sudden there's a government coup because of this, and someone assassinates the president, and all this other garbage. I'm like, people trying to seize power of things, and everyone knows there's an asteroid coming. So
yeah.
What? And so it takes like the
writers had a hard time continuing the plot.
Coming in 8 months, and it takes all the way up to the asteroid coming to hit the planet.
Right.
And it turns out they're aliens. It's not an asteroid.
Oh, this is a miniseries?
I guess it was only 3 seasons, and it.
Oh, it's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I was gonna say. I mean, you come up with a good plot point.
No,
you can't. If you wrote a good plot,
it was like
it can't have an end.
It was like 24, kind of, with an asteroid coming. It was dumb. That was. I hope if everyone in the government knew that an asteroid was coming to kill us all, I would hope they would put aside stuff and just say, there's no sense in fighting over power right now, because if we don't stop the asteroid, we're all going to die.
It's a lot of faith you're putting in people, man.
I know.
Listen,
There it is.
we have a big chunk of the population that won't get vaccinated.
I
So,
know. And
This is a real life
it's
lesson.
probably the same chunk that would be like, that asteroid ain't real.
It's true. It's fucking aliens.
Fake news.
By
I'll tell
the-
you what.
By the way, the show I was talking about was called Defying Gravity, and it's a lot older than I thought. It was 2009. Wow. But it was one season. It was
Isn't it
really
weird
good.
that you think about
I
2009, you're like, man, that was like so long ago.
I
I
know.
was only 20-something. Oh, NASA, imminent asteroid mission. Oh, that's not what I wanted. NASA spacecraft will crash into an asteroid at 15,000 miles per hour.
Oh, they're okay. They're purposely
Why is this not
they're purposely crashing it just to see if it will. I mean, it would be easy to model though. Like, you know.
Well, they must be. I don't know. There could be a lot of variables that.
It's true. We never know for. I mean, maybe they do, but they like know for sure the density, like the mass.
Right.
You know.
That's what happened on the stupid show. Is they flew something into it and they're like, oh, it's made of iron in the middle, so it just doesn't do anything.
Our lasers told us that it was aluminium.
Well, speaking of space and science fiction, you're gonna like this. It's a new project here, and it is a virtual universe. And you put on,
Like goggles.
yeah, but
Okay.
they have attempted to map out the
The
entire
universe?
universe.
It's just not.
And it apparently it's hold on, the size of it is I think there's like a whole warehouse dedicated to
Like you walk.
here
Every step you take is.
the computer algorithms used to create the virtual reality universe project pull in terabytes of data. A terabyte is about 1 trillion bytes. The goal is to produce images of the entire observable universe, and so you can go explore it. Now, this just leads me to believe that if we can do this, then obviously we're in a simulation.
Right. Right. All I want to know is what happens when you get to the edge. That's all I want to know. I don't want to look at anything else.
Wait, didn't we just find out the Big Bang isn't real or something? Didn't that just come out this week?
I think that would be bigger news, but I mean, it's possible. I don't know who would break that. You know.
They always skip over science stuff in the news. We could have an asteroid coming towards us, and
true.
they'd be like, in other news.
I did see a headline that an asteroid missed us, or a comet.
Oh, yeah.
Then we didn't see, NASA didn't know until the day after.
Yeah.
He was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck was that?
Right. You think with all our space junk out there, something would see it.
Or we just hit it all.
Look,
You know?
right here on Sci-Fi Wire or Daily Express, the Big Bang and time as we know it may be nothing but an illusion.
Is it a simulation article?
The biggest simulation of the universe yet stretches back to the Big Bang. I don't know. We need to read more about it before I stop. But yeah, the Big Bang is in question now.
I mean, whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Einstein's wrong, which
Was that his?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Yes, the theory of relativity and Einstein. Questioning Einstein seems totally reasonable because he was a scientist in what, the 50s and 60s?
Einstein?
Yeah.
I think it was earlier than that, but yeah.
Yeah, and so
Georges Lemaitre? I don't know. It must be French or something. He's the guy who came up with the Big Bang Theory.
I'm just saying that he was a scientist when people were stupid. So
Have I ever told you about
he's
Einstein's
old.
brain?
He died in 1955. What
Yeah.
about it?
So they obviously kept it.
Oh, of course.
They want to know
Is it
how
frozen?
how is this guy so smart? I don't know. No, I don't think so. And you
Sure
have
he was autistic or
like-
something, right?
gyri and sulci
Sure.
in your brain. Like
Yeah.
it's like the canyons and the
Right,
whatever, right?
Right.
So they found on his temporal lobes on both sides,
A tumor.
basically,
Oh.
like two gyri,
Mhm.
gyrus on each side that is connected but isn't connected in normal people.
Hmm.
It's just this little tiny connection.
Can we connect it and make us all smarter?
I don't know, but they figured that that's what allowed him to do math so much easier, as these two brain parts could talk to each other easier.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that's the only difference they could find. His brain was like marginally bigger, not enough to explain his genius.
Pretty ugly. He's got weird hair.
He's got really weird hair. I just don't think he cared.
That's why I think he probably was autistic.
Maybe, but I think he was.
He's on the spectrum. Everyone is on the spectrum.
Well, everyone
nowadays.
is. Yeah, yeah.
So there I was a few weeks ago picking up my friend from the Front Runner train, which is a big regular sized train that travels through Utah.
Light rail.
It's not light
It's not
rail.
a light rail.
It's a big
It's
rail.
true.
It's
It's
a
true.
regular
It's a train.
rail.
Yeah.
And
Monorail.
I hear how you hear the psh, the whooshing sound all the time before a train starts moving.
With the steam, like a steam
It's
engine.
No.
That would be brakes.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Well,
No?
so I was like, what the hell is all this stuff on the bottom of the train? And I don't remember how I actually figured this out, but so have you ever thought about traction? Because it's steel on steel in the
I
train.
just figured it was weight.
Right? That's
Just
what
the immense weight.
But apparently if it slips a lot.
Okay.
But all trains have this, and I had no idea. On the main engine, they have sprayers that spray sand in front of the wheels.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All trains?
That's what I was reading.
You know who we need to ask?
Huh.
Randy. He worked for Union Pacific.
Oh, did he?
They spray sand.
Yeah, that's what the tanks are for, and that whooshing sound is it sprays.
The
Sand.
giant tanks I thought those were the gas tanks.
No,
Or the
this
diesel.
is sand.
It's not gasoline.
Sand.
It's sand.
Yeah.
And they're That's weird. Come on. Really?
Google it. I was skeptical at first, but it's a thing.
Where does all the sand go?
I don't know.
There would be a lot of
I guess
sand
it
everywhere.
just gets ground and crushed. Or I don't know. It's
You
sand.
crush it finer than sand?
Super sand.
Super fine sand. Everybody's going to get silicosis that stands next
Maybe
to the
you
train
just
tracks.
don't notice. Look, this picture up here has a pile of sand next to the train. But yeah, there's just little sprayers that shoots out
That's
for traction.
incredible. I mean, I guess I just don't really understand the physics. It's like you could tell me, like, well, the weight of the train actually doesn't matter because it's just steel on steel.
Ask Einstein. The nature of the unit, it opens a fabric in space-time, and
Yeah.
that's what causes the steel to
Wait a
stick.
second. So is this it right here?
Huh.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That little nozzle just shoots down. Is it wet?
I don't think so.
So it's not mud.
No. No.
Interesting.
And I guess it gets used a lot when it snows and stuff to really.
Yeah. Have you seen the giant fan trains that it looks like a fan, but it's like just a giant snow
Oh,
blower?
yeah. Those are crazy.
They get rid of like 12 feet of
Yeah,
snow.
it's nuts. They just come barreling through and don't
So
care
I guess
who's in the way.
So these are you said these are the side tanks, or do they carry a car behind them?
No,
that's full of
they're
sand?
just little tanks on because they only need them when they start, I think.
Okay.
So it's not like they use a ton. I mean, I guess maybe the commuter train, like Front Runner, probably uses a lot more, but
Yeah.
a regular train only.
Well, I don't know how a regular train stops. Like Front Runner has disc brakes.
Does it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know how a normal train stops.
Just
It must have some sort of
hopes for the best.
brake pad
hydraulic,
or
I don't know.
disc. Maybe it's like some trailers that you tow have brakes that are based on pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably something like that.
Probably.
Once again, Randy would know. He's
Trains.
probably super pissed listening to
Trains are crazy.
this. Yeah. By the way, speaking of trains, saw an article today.
Let's pull a train.
150-year-old train track town was found by archaeologists. Listen, I'm a giant fan of archaeology.
Okay.
I minored in anthropology.
Right.
But finding a 150-year-old train, that hardly qualifies. Like, there's got to be like documents and fucking maps.
It was
that-
just sitting somewhere.
Well, no, it wasn't like a train. It was just the tracks, like tracks and some railroad ties.
Maybe it went to a mine or something.
I'm like,
It
it's
was-
cool. That's cool, but
Right.
did we talk about archaeology and the footprints last show and how it totally is going to change what we know about early humans in America?
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Well, just to recap, people,
Yeah.
if you listen, I'm sorry, but it's amazing. They found human footsteps preserved in like mud in New Mexico
Right, I think I remember reading about it.
that
or
are
seeing it.
that are like 20,000 years old, which
Whoa.
is 6,000 years older
Mhm.
than we thought the first humans were here.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's
I mean,
a big chunk of time that we're like, actually, we were wrong.
there seems to be a lot of that lately.
That's amazing.
The Big Bang.
Not only because the theory was that they came from the Bering Land Strait, right,
Uh-huh.
and then down the coast, and then moved east.
Right. Oh, I see what you're
These
saying.
people were
Oh.
already in New Mexico.
I thought, okay, this actually, it's more. I thought you just okay. Yeah, that is crazy.
right? So I mean, we went from like, oh, the first humans were here
Would
14,000
have this
years
been
ago to 20.
after Pangea? Is it Pangea?
Yeah, well after Pangea.
So they had to what? Swim over here?
No, the Bering Land Strait. So
Oh,
during an ice
that's
age-
right. I
yeah.
did see that.
during an
That's-
ice age, the land is connected from Alaska
Right.
to
Right.
where where Sarah Palin lives.
Russia?
Yeah, she can see it. It was connected, and that was the theory. It is the theory that the Clovis people came through there and down and moved east, and they became different groups.
Uh-huh.
But now we have a group that was there in New Mexico, which is further down and further east, 6,000 years before.
Huh.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So, I mean,
I mean,
maybe we'll get a new book of scripture or something. I don't know.
oh.
I failed to mention they found that alongside the footprints.
We should have started a religion. There's a lot of money in that.
There is a lot of money in that.
Speaking of our early ancestors, I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, like someone does, and this is actually a couple years old, but I just saw it. There is a robotics company in Japan of all places, that has made a robotic tail for humans.
That's actually a good idea.
To help us with balance and
Like a kangaroo.
yeah, it looked pretty interesting. I mean, I wouldn't wear it, but
I got to see a picture of it now.
I-
Have you ever seen how much time a kangaroo spends on its tail?
oh, you
It's
mean
crazy.
like isn't it prehensile?
Well,
Is it?
I don't know what that word is.
Where it can be used as another like a chameleon, where it can wrap it around things and
Well, that
like a dog's tail,
if
all
a-
it can do is wag, but
right.
a chameleon's tail can actually be used as another
If
appendage.
oh man, if you Google robotic tail Japan,
Oh,
I think
boy.
you get the right thing, but you might also get some anal plug ads.
Really?
So just be careful. But here
What's
is
the website for those anal plugs?
it's Bang Bros. No, is this it right here? This is the robotic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
freaking huge, man. Like I thought it was going to be a thing
Well-
of convenience.
I mean, it would be. Come on.
Inspired by seahorses. Anyway, what I was going to say is when kangaroos aren't like hopping fast, when they're just like, I don't know what walking.
Hanging out, standing.
They go from tail to feet.
Right,
tail
right.
To feet.
They
It's
lean on
crazy.
their tail.
Yeah, it's
I-
like a super
it's a-
thick. Like
It's a marsupial thing. I'm pretty sure it's prehensile. I don't know. Maybe not.
all right, well,
But
human
You
tail.
know what? Since we're talking about bad Google things here,
Yeah.
go ahead and
Oh
Google.
man.
Start Googling taste buds,
Okay.
and then tell me the first one that comes up that you're like,
Taste buds on tongue, close up, back of tongue, swollen, diagram, inflamed, kitchen.
oh, I'm getting different results.
Well, that's the beauty of
You
cookies.
got taste buds.
taste buds
I
on
got
tongue, close up.
okay. So mine are taste buds on tongue, taste buds change, taste buds on balls.
Okay, let's look. Taste buds on balls. I guess that your balls kind of do look like.
Testicles do in fact have taste buds, taste
Really?
receptors. Yep.
That's amazing.
I learned something new because I
Every once in a while, I get a nasty taste in my mouth.
well after
Like in my brain, I mean.
right.
It's not in my mouth. I'm perceiving a nasty taste.
Something tastes nasty on my balls. my balls. I was after Ethan gave me the muscle relaxer, the food I was eating tasted like different,
Yeah.
and I was wondering if the relaxer was causing it, and so I started Googling taste buds, and that was like the fourth thing. Whoa, hold on, forget everything else.
Yeah.
Taste buds on balls?
Your testicles have taste receptors. Huffington Post.
So if you ever see me at a restaurant and I just whip out my balls, this isn't tasting right on my tongue. Let me try something else. Why are you putting pizza down your pants, sir? It just tastes better down there.
So I wonder. It makes you wonder: is this something that we're evolving, or something that we're evolving out of?
Why?
Like
What would be
either way,
what would be the reason for us to evolve?
maybe.
It's
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. If you ingest poison,
Uh-huh.
you die.
Yeah.
So if you had taste buds on your balls, you could taste something to see if it was poisonous. If it wasn't sweet,
Well, wow. I'm going to taste everything with my balls.
before you put it in your
before
mouth.
I put
But
it in my mouth.
My point is that maybe we're evolving out of that and that they're just left over. Or is it some new adaptation we're getting?
People are dipping their testicles in soy sauce. Okay.
Shut up.
Yeah, this is from sciencealert.com.
I feel like you're on Pornhub.
You didn't misread the headline. People have been putting soy sauce on their testicles to see whether their nether parts can detect the salty condiment and recording their reactions for the benefit of TikTok.
Well, what we need is like 4 different cups and a
Now,
blindfold.
you go get some soy sauce right now
Well, we need 4 cups and a blindfold.
and some balls.
One's water, one's
Who has the biggest balls here? I do. I know.
ketchup, one's soy sauce, one's vodka.
What does that taste like? That's soy sauce, I believe.
Yeah, definitely soy sauce.
Soy sauce mixed with vodka.
That's Arby's sauce. Oh man.
Okay, so that is a oh wait, this is saying that they don't. Hold on.
We just had a whole conversation, and then
But there's
conflicting data.
this other one's saying that. Oh, it says you can only taste sweet things.
Well, look, science might be in dispute
You know,
because you might have taste
as
buds, but if they don't work, can you call them taste buds?
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it,
It didn't fall.
so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, as a disclaimer, do your own research.
yeah. Well, I mean, that should be at the beginning of every show.
Do
anyway.
your own research. Get on YouTube and see what they say.
Yeah. Or, even better, do a double-blind study. Get some funding, get a grant.
That has been probably 2020's most annoying phrase for me.
Do your research.
Do your own research.
There's a fruit fly in here.
I
How is there
saw
a
it.
fruit fly in our studio?
A few years ago, I would have made a gay joke, but I'm not going to.
I'm really happy.
I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh, do your own research.
Oh, yeah.
And how stupid it is.
Because it's not research.
Because going on YouTube and listening to some guy's opinion is not research. If
What-
you were to actually do your own research, you would need to get vials of the vaccine,
Right.
a bunch of participants.
Double-blind.
It's like,
Yeah. Longitudinal study.
how did you do research? Well, I got me on the YouTube and the TikTok. and
At the very least,
I found some people who support my views.
at the very least, you could do a meta-analysis, right?
Uh-huh.
And say, well, I'm not going to do my own study. I don't have that kind of funding. But I could take all the information from all the other studies and do a meta-analysis,
I guess.
which plenty of
Which
people
I'm
do.
sure they've already done.
Yeah.
The
The phrase should be trust real research.
I only listen to famous people's cousins' friends.
Oh, my gosh. Can we talk about Kyrie Irving for a second?
Oh, yeah, he's an idiot,
What
man.
the fuck, man? Listen, if you're listening to, this is the same guy who said the earth was flat a few years ago and got shit for it. It's
That's
the same
right.
guy.
I forgot he
The
did that.
same motherfucker who said the earth was flat is now saying he's not going to get vaccinated and he's not going to get a contract extension from the Nets.
Boo-hoo.
Like, who is this guy?
He's an idiot.
He's a basketball player, all right?
So obviously he's stupid.
I'm not saying that we should expect more from our basketball players. But like if you're if you're going to die on this hill with Kyrie, literally, then just remember he's the guy who said the earth was flat and never really took it back.
Right.
All he said was maybe it's not or some shit like that. He didn't say sorry, I was joking.
My people have told me that if I want more sponsors, I need to.
So whatever, man. Kyrie's not going to play this year, and
if I were the Nets, I'd just release him and
that's what they're
going
to do.
Quits, and then he can just be gone.
I don't even want to look up the amount because it's stupid. But he turned. They were going to offer him like a $30 million contract.
He's only 6'2". And he's almost 30. He's getting too old.
That's true. He's peaking.
He's too old to even.
That's why he's doing it.
Don't the Nets have a bunch of other good players anyway?
Yeah, they're kind of a super team right now. Durant and I don't know who else. But the season's starting up. It'll be fun to watch the Jazz again.
Yeah, the Jazz. They got some new pieces.
Hey, did you see the rebrand?
Oh,
They haven't revealed the official.
I heard that it was coming. Now, is this a full-on rebrand or just another jersey set?
I don't know yet, but all I know is, speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, who are already black and white.
Right.
Come on.
They're going to be black and yellow, though.
And white. It's like black and yellow with white, or I'm sorry, black and white with yellow accents.
I'm kind of upset with Ryan Smith.
I like him until this.
Well, so
you can't rebrand, no man. Like we need purples and greens and.
I listened to on the way home The Big Show on 97.5 The Zone.
Yeah.
And The Zone was purchased with the Jazz by Ryan Smith.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I just learned about the history of The Zone. It actually has some interesting history.
I used to work for Simmons Media when I worked for X96, who owned The Zone at the time.
Right.
And then The Zone got sold to the Jazz.
Right. So, Craig Bullerjack, who you probably know as the TV voice, right,
sure.
of the Jazz.
Yes, yep.
I hate David Locke. Have I ever told you that?
I don't like David Locke.
I don't know how he's a broadcaster.
They got rid of Harpering.
Who's that?
Matt Harpering.
Oh.
He was the color announcer.
Well, yeah. That's right.
And they got a new person. I think Thurl or something's taking over.
Yeah. So Craig Bullerjack and Gordon Monson, they were working for another sports company, and they got laid off, or the station went under, and they started The Zone.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
And they, it progressed and got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I thought they had sold it to, so maybe they were still owning or part of ownership or something when it was with Simmons, or maybe they sold it to Simmons, but either way they sold it.
Yeah. I never met him, so I would think that I would have had he been an owner.
Yeah.
I met all the other producers of The Zone.
So Gordon and Bullerjack, they stayed on for forever doing The Big Show until Buller got his job with the Jazz, and Monson's been there forever.
Yeah.
And so the station got sold with the Jazz, but then Ryan, I don't know if he sold it or just transferred management over to Bonneville.
Oh, he sold out.
And within a day, they let Gordon Monson go. Like, no warning. They just let him and their producer go.
Does he not have a current tempo recommend?
Well, no. That he wrote an article about that exact.
Gordon did?
Oh yeah, because he's a writer for the Tribune.
Right.
And he seemed pretty pissed.
I can imagine.
I mean, he was pretty close to retiring, I think, but he was just mad that they did that, and especially they let him and the producer go. I'm not really sure why, but he had recently criticized Holland.
Ah.
And so I don't know if this may be a deep dive for anyone that's not listening inside of Utah.
Holland being a leader in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And he is a member. Gordon is.
Yeah. Nevertheless, he laid criticism.
Yeah, he did. And I don't. Of course, they didn't give him a reason as to why.
And
but
we should mention Bonneville Communications is owned by the same church of which Holland is a leader.
Right. And
so
KSL, and now
the theory is that you have is that they fired Gordon.
That's
Once the church
seems like
owned the station.
his own theory is kind of what he alluded to in
I mean-
his article. But
Would it surprise you at all?
no,
Like,
no.
I don't even think that qualifies as conspiracy. That's
No,
just
no,
probably
no.
logical.
So I don't know if you also noticed that KSL is going to be playing some Jazz games now, and that's all part of that.
Well, something happened with was it Dish Network? Dish Network isn't going to carry Fox Sports or something,
Oh,
or
really?
AT&T Sportsnet. I can't remember. But so the Jazz had to work out something else to get people.
That's why it's gonna probably be on KSL.
Yeah, I mean they should go back to free broadcast like when it was on KJazz.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stopped listening to the Zone. I just turned it off, deleted it off my station. I'm like, I'm not. That's bullcrap,
You
man.
literally reset your preset.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I tuned into ESPN 700.
You should let them know. You should text them. Be like, just so you know,
I'm sure that
I'm boycotting.
lots of people probably have,
Yeah.
and it seemed like that way at least.
This week. I am leaving. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving AT&T.
On your phone?
For my phones.
How come?
Because
you had it?
Well, listen, their coverage is great.
That's
Their
fine.
speeds
Yeah,
are great.
yeah.
But have you heard about this shit with OAN?
Oh, that's right.
So AT&T's always been the Death Star corporation, right? But this was just like
that's right.
they lied about it. So if you don't know, they got busted for like when they bought DirecTV, they asked a creator to make a conservative news station. He created OAN, which is
like Fox News, but
on steroids.
wow, like
caused the insurrection.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes Fox News look like CNN.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they look liberal compared to.
But the money trail speaks to a possible funneling of money from AT&T to OAN.
Right.
So they weren't just like a product that AT&T sold
Mm-hmm.
or had or that DirecTV distributed. It was like they were actually pumping money into OAN to prop it up and make it bigger.
Right.
So their stocks have tanked.
Womp
And
womp.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway, OAN. Yeah.
I have Verizon. They're fine. I have been thinking about switching to T-Mobile, but that's just.
I've actually no. So I have a good friend who works for Xfinity.
How you gonna try that out, huh?
Well, she talked to me about it, and apparently they use like Verizon towers.
Mm.
She's got T-Mobile on her personal phone and Xfinity Mobile, which I worked for AT&T when Xfinity Mobile first came out, and we
Right.
were like, I don't know.
Right.
Seems like you always had to be hooked on Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So I'm going to talk to her about it later this week.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And it's like half the price, by the way. Yeah.
is it really?
Yeah.
What about phones though? Did
Same.
they? Okay.
Same. Like
Did you get the new phone?
no, I got my 12. Still.
I wasn't going to, but I was thinking maybe I will.
I mean, I am now that I'm switching, but I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, what led us to all this? Oh, the Jazz.
Yeah, the Jazz.
Anyway, David Locke is a terrible broadcaster.
Well, and people not in Utah should understand that there was this man
Mm-hmm.
named Larry H. Miller.
Yeah,
He's like a legend in Utah.
it's true.
He bought the Jazz in like 1985 for like $8 million.
What is with the Miller family lately?
And they own half of Utah. They own theaters.
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore. They owned the Jazz. They own a bunch of car dealerships across the Mountain West.
Yeah, it's not just Utah. It's California, Colorado, Idaho.
And so, but Larry died a few years back.
Had his feet cut off.
Yeah, he was diabetic.
Diabetes.
And his wife and his son were running the Jazz. And just last year, they sold to Ryan, which was already kind of sad. Now everybody was like, "Well, Ryan's a cool guy."
Well,
he runs
Ryan
it-
Smith is the creator of
Qualtrics.
Right. Which he sold for was like $6 billion or something.
Yeah, he's like a Mark Cuban.
yeah, basically.
So he owns the Jazz now.
He is a lifelong Utah and Jazz fan.
Right. He created a Utah unicorn company. He convinced Dwayne Wade to be a
You know,
did
you hear about Dwayne Wade's son?
No.
He's playing with the Stars, the
Our G League team?
G League team.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then he's doing this rebrand thing, making the Jazz's colors
Oh, that's right. That's where
black.
it
That's
came
where we
from.
were. Black and white
And yellow.
and yellow. I don't know. I mean, they've rebranded a lot. but so is every team. But
I never liked the green.
But so back to Larry Miller though.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like this staple in the community. The court. If you ever watch a Jazz game, it's Larry H. Miller Court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then his family sells the Jazz,
which in itself was kind of surprising.
Yeah, it was very surprising
because
like,
it was in a trust, wasn't it? Like
like his wife, his ex-wife, his widowed wife, who she's remarried, but she was running the Jazz, and his son. But then apparently they just didn't want any part of it.
Yeah, weird.
And now they're selling all of their car dealerships to a
it.
company out of Georgia for like $2 billion. So everything Miller is going to be like wiped off of.
No, it's they are retaining the name for the dealerships.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. It is weird though. I mean, these are very wealthy people.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're hard up for cash.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Unless they're diving into charities and nonprofits or something.
I just had a rabbit hole moment. Can we go further down this?
Yeah.
Did you see Karl Malone's press conference?
No, but I heard a little bit about it.
Karl Malone.
Well, I saw him take his shirt off. That was
Karl Malone played for the Utah Jazz.
Right.
He left the Jazz at the end of his career, kind of bitterly. Not enough that we still put a statue up for him. Right. And he moved to California. Blah blah blah. He held a press conference at the Heber City Airport.
Yeah.
Where his jet landed.
Right.
Now it's for a good cause.
Uh-huh.
He's creating a partnership between his dealerships, Karl Malone, Toyota, or whatever, and the Utah Food Bank, and he wants to spread it to his home state of Georgia.
Right.
Which is great. He wants to feed people. But this press conference, dude, he's either bipolar or he was on just a shit ton of cocaine. Like
all I saw was him take his shirt off and how everyone around him was like,
yeah, at the end of the press conference, he took his shirt off. Now he's fit. He's cut for like a 55-year-old man, right? But just go YouTube Karl Malone press conference and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's all for a good cause, but I wonder about Karl's mental well-being right now because everyone around him was like,
well,
what the fuck is going on?
If you've ever seen him on like he used to do a bit with Kimmel.
Yeah.
And he always seemed a little odd, a little off.
I remember let's see. What was that, like in 2001 or so when Cara left Utah to go to L.A.?
Right.
And he got on the radio and was like, Karl Malone will never play in Utah again. He was like kind of a dick about it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, now he's a legend here, but I don't know. Things are blowing up.
Didn't he only do 1 year in L.A.?
Yeah, it was 1 or 2. He was trying to get a ring.
And he never did.
Never did.
That's what he gets.
Yeah.
He's 58. Wow.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
No,
but this press conference.
He played a long time ago.
It just doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would be like.
On drugs?
No, like, like, what's the word? Like shy and agitated about being shy. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, just just go watch it.
I don't know why they're gonna switch to black and white. It's not
Well, it's already Brooklyn.
Okay. Well, here's my.
There's a lot of colors.
I already hate the name Jazz.
I know you do.
It's fine. It's established. It is what it is. I've always hated the name because the team was bought from New Orleans, and back then it was the norm to not change the name to keep the
right
because the NBA wasn't nearly as big. It was more of a benefit to keep the name than it is. Now they don't do that. No, now they don't do that really anymore.
They generally change the name.
They will like the Thunder are the Supersonics. They used to be the Supersonics. Anyway, so that's why they're Jazz, even though there's like 6, black people that live in Utah, and like 3 that play jazz and 2 that like jazz music.
I was going to say none of whom play jazz.
Yeah.
Like if you want to find jazz in Utah, you have to listen to NPR after midnight.
Yeah.
And you'll hear all the jazz you want with Steve Smith. He's the he's the DJ who plays it on 90.1 KUER.
Right. It's I don't know. Anyway,
you're right. You're right.
But purple works because if you've never lived in a mountainous area, when the sun sets, occasionally the mountains will look purplish. They'll have a purple hue.
Yeah.
And I think that works. Green, I was never on board with when they did the green and yellow thing. That was kind of weird.
Purple Mountain's Majesty.
Right. And I think they have a good mix right now with their city jersey, which has been my favorite.
I'm okay with this. My favorite is green.
You like the green?
Not the old 80s bright green, but kind of the
subdued,
more olive.
I'm fine with keeping it in rotation like they do, but
right.
I like the city jerseys are my favorite, and that just pays homage to Southern Utah.
Is the NBA doing city jerseys again?
I think they've kind of just graduated and they're from it, and they're just doing whatever now. Like, because it changed last year just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And
just let them wear whatever the hell they want.
that's kind of what they've done. Like, there's no
Right.
really home and away
It used to be-
specific jerseys
Yeah,
anymore.
It
It's
used
just
to be light
kinda-
and dark.
Yeah.
And the weird weird team in the league was the Lakers because their away jerseys were yellow.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, wait, they're not dark.
Yeah, now everyone just kind of does
Yeah.
whatever, which is great. I like that.
I
But
do too.
I don't know, black and yellow and white. I guess are they going for the bees? Is that what it is? They're going for a bee look.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm not gonna.
What if Ryan Smith is slowly changing
He's
the
gonna
name?
change the name, right? I don't know, man. Like,
I don't
I'm
know.
not-
I don't know if I would support that or not.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna hate him right now. I got to see him first.
Right.
But there are some things I don't like change, and other things that I do. And when it comes to the Jazz,
Well, uniforms change.
I know, but like
But
I hated the mountain one
Yeah.
in
there's-
the late '90s. Like,
all of sports had weird jerseys in the
That's
late
true.
'90s. Like every team you look at, and you're like, what the hell?
right. All right. Let's see.
That was the most
Yeah.
we've ever talking about sports on here. I think.
Yeah. Welcome to our new sports show. It's called The Zone.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you about this supply chain.
Oh,
Mess.
yeah.
So normally off Long Beach in LA, there are no ships waiting to be unloaded.
Right.
Latest update I saw was 73. 73 container ships that are probably holding anywhere from 5 to 15,000 20-foot containers, maybe 40-foot, are waiting off the coast with all our shit that we order from Wish and Alibaba, okay? And all of our electronics that you're going to order for Christmas.
Right.
So,
Have we considered opening the stores on the boats, just popping open the containers?
well, it turns out that in Long Beach, and I'm sure in other ports, most of it's robotics.
Did you see that guy on TikTok?
Yeah.
I was shocked. That was so
Like it's robots that pick
freaky.
pick up the containers and move them, and then there's robot
trucks.
trucks that basically just there's no beef to them.
Yeah.
It's just
And
enough
they're
to
all
hold a
they're
trailer.
all electric.
And and all four wheels turn.
Yeah.
So they can do like a
Yeah,
zero
yeah.
radius.
I had no idea.
So, but that begs the question. I thought this whole supply chain mess was because we didn't have enough people working the ports. But if it's robots, I guess there must be a step where it needs human interaction. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Because there's
Why-
73 ships
That
stuck
was the initial.
because they can't unload them fast enough.
Right.
Now, there has been complaints that the ships have gotten a lot bigger over the last few years.
They are huge.
Yeah. Like the Ever Given held like 20,000 20-foot.
It's so crazy how much they hold.
I mean, just to put that's 10,000 semi-trucks.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. But here's the thing where things get weird. Because of this crisis, many shipping companies are going bankrupt while they have ships in the ocean. Okay? And then there's also been legal battles. Remember when the Ever Given got stuck in the Suez Canal?
I do.
Did you know that the crew was stuck on the ship that whole time? They were not allowed to leave?
I did not.
Okay, so that sparked a whole little area. And then Ashley sent me this story the other day that I'll get to. First, this is in the Wall Street Journal, okay? Off the coast of Somalia, when was this written? October 8th, last week. Off the coast of Somalia, a crew awaiting pay languishes on a pirate-trawled stretch of the Indian Ocean while their ship slowly takes on water. Another 14 seafarers stuck on a cargo ship off the coast of Iran have run out of food and fuel. Some contemplated suicide.
Just open one of the crates.
Right? So it's because these ships get abandoned by the company. Abandonment cases are counted when ship owners fail to pay crews 2 or more months in wages or don't cover the cost to send crew members home. Imagine making pennies on a ship as a crew member. You get halfway there, and the captain's like, I can't get a hold of anybody at the office. Like I don't know we have enough fuel to get to where we're going, but I don't know what to do after that.
Right.
Okay. All right. More than 1,000 seafarers are currently abandoned on container ships.
How many?
1,000.
Whoa.
There's 1,000 people stuck on ships right now. All right. This led to the story that Ashley shared with me of this man. His name is Mohammed Aisha. He's from Syria. Okay. He was trapped aboard the MV Amen, a cargo ship locked in a legal dispute with Egyptian authorities. According to BBC News, the ship was detained at the Egyptian port of Atabaya near the Suez Gulf in 2017 because of expired safety equipment and classification certificates. Crew members were repatriated and left the ship in August of 2019. 2 years the crew stayed on that ship, okay? But since Aisha had received the MV Amen's detention order while the ship's captain was away from the vessel, he was designated the ship's legal guardian and was told he could not leave. Okay?
Oh, my gosh.
According to the ITF, the ship was without power and covered in insects and rodents. They said Aisha had to... Okay, first, before I read this next line.
Uh-huh.
If you're stuck off the coast in a cargo ship
Right.
for anywhere close to a year, let alone 4,
Right.
what would you do? If you could see the coast.
I don't know how...
I would...
I mean,
Before-
I guess I'd try to...
As Ashley was reading this, I'm like, I understand they're big and they got to be kind of a ways off the coast.
Right.
You know? But I would totally jump off that ship.
Why not just steer it into the land and just...
Or get in the little... The safety... What the fuck is the word?
Bury the reef,
No,
the anchor,
the boats.
tugboats,
Lifeboats.
Oh,
Completely forgot. All I could see is Titanic in my head. And,
right,
the guy holding a baby. So
right,
anyway,
right.
Lifeboat.
Iceberg ahead.
But according to the ITF, the ship was out without power. They said Aisha had to swim ashore to charge his phone and get groceries before returning to the ship.
Huh.
I'm like, what is this guy's problem? Right? What?
Just leave.
He saw like his brother was a crew member on other ships, and he saw him like pass like a few times.
What?
So they finally got him tested for COVID because COVID happened 2 years in,
Right.
and let him go home. Like, this guy was stuck on a ship by himself.
With all the cargo?
Yeah, he got off
Could be
to
fun. I don't know. It depends what the cargo is.
So just know that during this whole supply chain crisis, while you're waiting for your Beats headphones to show up, there are people stuck on the ships.
I don't understand why he was like he.
There was some
Can he
legal
just quit
dispute.
or something? Quit his job?
He
Is it
could've.
his boat?
No, he wasn't even the captain. The captain was away, and he received from the legal authorities in Egypt or wherever saying, "Hey, you are the one receiving this order. You're the highest ranking."
Isn't there any way he could have been like, no?
I didn't hear you. Yeah. I think he did say something like, "I don't know what."
I'll give you a truckload of whatever you want if you come helicopter me away from here. I don't.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to the Ever Given. He said, but the crew on the Ever Given, while it was not only was it stuck for like 4 days,
Right.
but then they held it
Oh, did they?
in detention because it cost Egypt like $1 billion to get it out,
Oh.
and they wanted to charge the Dutch company
Right.
Evergreen that bill.
Right.
So while they were in legal disputes, they wouldn't let the crew off. So the crews are literally starving. There's no food. They run out of food and power. It's just the weirdest thing. It's 2021. Like, I don't understand.
Huh.
I would totally, like, day 3, I'd probably get in a lifeboat. Be like, fuck this.
Right.
Like, who's with me? I'm going.
I guess the only problem is that
I mean, I'd imagine this guy's super poor, right?
if you go to like Somalia or something, you might want to head back to the ship. Like I don't.
That's the only thing I could think of is that, like, there was just such shitty conditions that it was somehow better on a lifeless ship that, he even mentions in the article, he's like, I could have tripped and fell and died and no one would have known.
Had he considered sinking the ship?
No, but he considered suicide, I think.
I think I would have sunk the ship before.
Yeah, scuttle it,
Yeah.
I think is the word.
If I'm these guys, I'm just pulling into any port and being like, free, free
dude.
containers.
What if
If you give me $20, I'll give you a truck.
You should make a movie And like 2 years in, you're like, fuck this, I'm opening one. You open it and it's full of like cash.
Hell yeah.
Like,
They ship cars. There could be a Toyota in there. I'll sell you this Toyota for $50 and a loaf of bread.
I'm like, just get me on a plane, man. I just want to go back to Syria.
Said no one ever. No.
Maybe that's why he stayed. Freaking 2017, he left Syria.
Mustard gas,
Yeah.
boat.
I don't know, man. You know, barrel bombs. This poor guy. It's a
Man.
weird thing. I don't get it.
I didn't know.
But it's not just internationally. Like there are crews on these boats off the coast of Long Beach and New York.
Wonder what living conditions are like on these boats.
Oh, they gotta be terrible.
It's not like a
It's
cruise
like
boat, right?
Little crew quarters, just shitty.
Mm.
You know, all the space is taken up by freaking containers.
No, they're so big.
I think I read like about how many containers fall into the ocean every year. It's like 1 million or something.
Really?
Like it's something crazy.
Why don't we start a business?
I know. I guarantee there's a salvage business, but I also guarantee there's probably maritime law. It's
Probably.
like if you find it, it's still ours. You know,
That was terrible.
we left it there on purpose.
We were saving those Mercedes till later. We were coming to get them. Oh man.
I have an abortion update.
Do I have the sounder for this? Oh no, I can't find it.
Because in the last
Fine.
month since we've been on,
There's been a
lot-
lot of abortion issues.
a lot of back and forth going on.
It's so stupid.
It really is.
It's so dumb.
Just to give you guys a rundown, Texas successfully passed their abortion ban.
Which in itself is stupid because there's no legal. There's.
Well, I'll get to that. It's interesting. They're
Yeah.
dirty. They're dirty fuckers.
Yeah.
In fact, while we were getting ready for the show, I said, motherfuckers. And you said, what? And I was like, these Texans, man. So they pass it. If you don't remember, this law allows people to sue if you're caught helping someone get an abortion
Right.
for $10,000. Last week, I got a notification on my phone that a judge had put a stay on the law.
And then the next day.
I was like, oh, sweet. You know, because in my mind, I was talking to Ashley, I'm like, listen, how can we just start mailing Plan B to people down there, you know?
right.
Because before 6 weeks, you don't necessarily need a procedure,
Right.
right? Like, so, the next day, an appeals court overturned that judge's order, so the law is back into effect. And now the Justice Department is asking the Supreme Court to put a stay on it, which it already has once before. Remember, and the Supreme Court ruled a narrow 5-4 against the Department of Justice to keep the law. Remember that?
Yes, but it wasn't. It was.
It was the way the case was brought.
Right.
So here's the problem, okay? Supreme Court precedents prohibit states from banning abortion before fetal viability, the point at which fetuses can sustain life outside the womb. So the Supreme Court precedent already bans you from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's 22 to 24 weeks. That makes the Texas law unconstitutional under the controlling precedents,
Right.
okay? But it was written to make it difficult to challenge in court. Usually, a lawsuit to block a law because it is unconstitutional would name state officials as defendants. Okay?
Okay.
Governor Cox passed this law. It's unconstitutional. I'm suing him, right? Or whatever. He's the defendant. He needs to come. But the Texas law bars state officials from enforcing it and instead deputizes private individuals to sue anyone who performs the procedure or aids and abets it. So they took themselves out of the legal equation. They cannot be a defendant because they're not allowed to even enforce the law.
Right.
What a maneuver. You got to
Right.
hand it to them. You got to hand it to them. The patient may not be sued, but doctors, staff members at clinics, counselors, people who pay for the procedure, and even an Uber driver taking a patient to an abortion clinic are all potential defendants. Plaintiffs who do not need to live in Texas, have any connection to the abortion, or show any injury from it, are entitled to $10,000 and their legal fees recovered if they win.
Wait. What are the stipulations? If they what?
If you don't have to live in Texas,
Okay.
if you have any connection to the abortion, which could be like, I follow this person on Instagram,
Oh.
have any injury from it, i.e. emotional distress,
Oh my gosh.
are entitled to $10,000 and their legal fees. Prevailing defendants are not entitled to legal fees. So you could get sued. You could win, and you wouldn't get your fees paid. But if you get sued and they win, you have to pay their fees. Okay? Last week, Judge Robert L. Pittman of the Federal District Court in Austin temporarily blocked the law in the case, writing that he would not sanction one more day of this offensive deprivation of such an important right. He criticized the law's efforts to avoid judicial scrutiny, fully aware that depriving its citizens of this right by direct state action would be flagrantly unconstitutional. The state contrived an unprecedented and transparent statutory scheme to do just that. On Thursday, a divided 3-judge panel on the U.S. Court of Appeals on the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans stayed Judge Pittman's ruling, reinstating the law. And now the Biden administration will ask the Supreme Court to lift the stay. It's more back and forth than
So stupid.
like.
I want to see one of these one of these things go to trial and see what it actually looks like.
Well, they clearly had arguments before this judge, and then they had arguments before this Fifth Circuit. At some point, they might not have been very long, right? But they probably got 20 minutes each to make their case. And then questions.
If I were a judge, I'd just be like, no, I'm throwing it out.
I don't understand. Like, this is the New York Times I'm reading this from, by the way. But the Supreme Court precedents are really clear. And if I remember right, the Supreme Court actually mentioned that in their ruling last month. They were like, look, we're ruling in favor of the law, quote unquote, but only because of the way it was brought up.
Right.
We're telling you this law is unconstitutional, but based on the way you guys tried to fight it, we're ruling against you. It was the dumbest shit. So that's your abortion update for Texas.
Greatest justice system in the world.
Right. Which then
Or
leads
something.
to a conversation that we had via text about Hope for Humanity, because you sent Ethan a TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and explain the TikTok?
Well,
it was a doctor, right?
One of my friends texted me this, and they were like, "Is this real?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna ask my doctor." And so I sent it to the group because it was easier than finding Ethan's name. And the TikTok, well, just play it. Can
let
you
me
play?
see if
You got it pulled up?
Let me see if I can open it here. Am I Bluetooth?
You should be.
Okay. Unmute. Hang on. Okay.
You.
Okay. Let me go
How
back
everything
here.
works.
Sorry. There we go.
This is a gentle reminder to all my sweet, sweet Mormons in Utah. If you're recently married and your mother did not sign that little paper on sex ed to teach you how everything works, sweetheart, look it up. Because if I hear of one more couple coming into the OR, into the ER, not OR, ER, with an inflamed navel because they think that you're supposed to have sex through the belly button, good Lord. That's how they think they're supposed to have a baby.
Okay, she goes on there. And Ethan has told me some stories, of course, in the spirit of HIPAA.
Right.
Of patients that he's had come in or when he was on rounds, I think.
Yeah.
Someone was doing it in the butt.
I can
thinking
tell
that it should
you,
work. But this is the first time I've heard of navel.
I've never once that I remember ever thought that was how you had sex.
No, never. I mean, even if you just objectively look at both parts,
Right.
you're like, wait, my belly button doesn't open. Your belly button doesn't open. It's also fairly small. I mean, unless there might be some men who aren't.
Mine's deep.
You got a
Because I'm
deep
so
button?
fat, dude. It's deep. Like
So
one day I was like, whoa.
Is that a Skittle?
Whoa! I just kept going, and I was like almost touching my back. It was crazy, you know? It was touching my
Touch
spine.
my spine. That's how I check my lumbar.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, basically in this thread where you sent this, Ethan kind of confirmed, like, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And you said, I need to know if this could be real because it could be the thing that finally breaks any last hope for humanity I have. Ethan told you just to let it break.
Right.
No need to hold on. And I said, I think the majority of my anxiety stems from not allowing it to break. And I said we need to discuss.
All right.
Which your question afterwards was phenomenal, which was you said, so you're saying if you lost all hope for humanity, it would help your anxiety?
Uh-huh.
And I said, yes. Because
Well, that does make sense to a point.
if I had no hope
Right.
for humanity at all,
Uh-huh.
like there's no coming back.
Right.
We're all fucked. Nothing's going to work. We're all going to die from climate change or war or famine. It's the reason we do this show,
Right.
is because we want to complain to see if there are people who are like us, right?
Right.
We want to know if there are people who agree with us because we still have hope. If we had no hope, then just apathy would take over and you would be just complacent.
Right.
Apathy would just be, true apathy is bliss, right?
Ignorance is bliss. I've always said that, but
Apathy is different than ignorance.
no, you're right. You're right.
True apathy, where you like a nihilist.
So that you know all this stuff is
Just
going to
don't
happen,
care.
but you're just like, I have to not care.
There is nothing I can do about it, so I do not care. Right? Like I'm not even gonna vote. I'm not even gonna I'm not gonna do anything because there's no hope whatsoever.
Huh.
I don't know. It really struck a thought with me.
Is that such a bad way to live?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is that I can't give up hope
Well,
on
you
humanity.
need to just connect to your thing that's connecting,
I
like
guess.
Einstein. Get a
This is
lobotomy or
math.
something.
I mean, do you still have hope for humanity? Because you still get stressed out by stupid decisions and
Well, yes.
like this abortion thing. If you had no hope for humanity, it'd be like, well, whatever. We're all fucked anyway. You know?
It's getting more and more to that way, just because of I used to not pay hardly any attention to politics.
No one did.
And the more I paid attention, the more, stressed and aggravated I get. And so there's part of me that wonders if, it would just be easier to not pay any attention and just hope for the best.
Can we all admit, though,
Yeah.
liberals and conservatives alike, Trumpers and nihilists, that you're thinking about politics a lot less lately than you were from
yeah.
2016 to 2020?
Yeah.
Just saying. But no, you're right.
And so, but that was because I didn't want to know politics or I didn't have an interest in it.
Do you think it's like a camel's back situation? Like a hair that breaks a camel's back. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Let me take this metaphor literally. Like, I tell Ashley all the time, like, she's like, well, it can't get worse or something like that. I'm like, things can always get worse. If that's one thing I've learned over the last 4 years is that things can always get worse. We didn't think COVID would do this. We didn't think Trump would do that. We didn't think that things in Afghanistan would happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Things can always get worse. It's not a pessimistic way of looking at it. It's just a way of saying, hey, no, we should probably be careful because
Right.
things can always get worse. Do you think that might escalate to a point where you're like, well, whatever then? Things, not only will things get worse, they will get worse.
I think it could. I would hope it didn't. But one thing that I was thinking about the other day is in the millennial lifetime, we've had 9/11, a recession, Corona,
Another recession,
we've had a bunch of stuff happen.
20-year war.
But then I was thinking about, like my grandpa's life. He had the Depression. He had World War II. I don't think any generation has gotten away with nothing. And
No,
there's
it's-
always something to surprise you. And so when we have Corona and you're like, wow, I can't believe this is happening, someone had the same thing about World War II when Pearl Harbor got bombed or when Hitler took power or it's kind of just you're going to be surprised. Life is going to be surprised.
And I should clarify.
And you should always expect the unexpected because it's going to happen.
Right. I should clarify. I'm not complaining about the time in which we live.
No.
Every generation before us had it worse.
Yeah.
Maybe Gen Xers had it better than us.
Yeah, those fuckers. did.
They ruined everything.
They really had the 80s and the 90s. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no one cared about anything.
Yeah.
And
Hating gays was cool.
yeah.
And
So
there was
with
all
the
the wars.
exception-
All the wars we had were won in like a day.
With the exception of people born from 1960 to 1980.
Iraq. The first Iraq was just we went in there with some
Some bombs,
missiles, and
yeah.
Saddam was like, "All right,
all right.
yeah." And we Black Hawk Down. Yeah, that was bad, but it still only lasted a couple weeks. And
Yeah, it was only a few guys.
yeah, Bill Clinton got a blowjob, but whatever. Man, the 90s.
I know.
Remember when the World Trade Center got bombed in the 90s?
Yeah.
And we thought that was a big deal?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't really remember it, but I do. I mean, I know of it. I was, 9?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 93. Anyway,
Damn it.
yeah,
I
I'm not
wish I
saying
was
that
alive.
we have it worse.
I was an adult in the 90s.
Every generation before us, with the exception of Gen X, has had it worse than us.
Or the same. You know.
Well, when you get back to like 1800s,
okay.
then it's markedly worse.
Yes, you're right.
Right? There's only 3 generations back to
One
that
thing that
type
does-
of living. Like
one
my
thing-
my 100-year-old grandma
Right.
had a horse and buggy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, like-
Yes. One thing that does sometimes make me feel better is watching documentaries about the 60s and 70s and 50s, and because it's very politically the climate is similar, especially with the race wars. No, what am I looking for?
Justice.
Yeah.
Racial justice.
All
All the assassinations in the 60s would have been
and
hard.
The main difference being is that the Democrats were the bad guys,
Right.
and the Republicans were the good guys, which is why you have this older generation that hangs on with. Did you ever watch the documentary I told you to, the CNN thing about? It was about maybe it was just called the 60s, but it was about
yeah, I've watched part of it.
like the Democratic National Convention and
Yeah.
how it got almost taken over by
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, January 6th was unique, but in a way it wasn't.
No, I mean we haven't had Kennedy
Right.
and King and Malcolm X and then another Kennedy. Like that was a rough decade for sure.
But I think what you're getting at is or what you're saying is there ever a point when you just kind of give up all hope? And
I'm curious if there is anybody out there who has.
of course. Of course.
They wouldn't be listening to this show though,
No.
because they
Well,
don't care.
know.
I don't know what they do. What do you do with your time?
I don't know. Is it impossible? Is it possible to just?
I don't know.
I think that would almost be like a narcissistic, condition or something to
Probably.
not care about anything
Yeah.
at all.
In fact, that's kind of the definition of antisocial personality disorder. Is to not, you just don't care,
Are you just realizing you?
and you're actually kind of jovial.
you
Like,
might need to tell your life insurance people another.
no, I'm not antisocial because I do care. I do care. I'm not jovial, like all the time because I worry about shit.
There might be a difference between giving up and being disenfranchised. Like, at this point, I'm kind of disenfranchised with politics in general.
Like you just don't know what else you could possibly do.
I've kind of come to this conclusion that politicians are all just terrible people.
Yeah,
Democrat, Republican,
just power.
anyone that wants and seeks out the power.
Yeah,
Why else would you?
which is
It's
why
not, it's not a glamorous job. It's
which is why I understood the appeal of Donald Trump.
correct.
Early on.
Initially, I also was like, well, this guy's going to pay his own way.
I
and-
understood it. Now, that being said, it turns out he didn't actually spend any of his own
No,
money.
no.
But I see the appeal that people had where it's like, he didn't need to do this. He's very wealthy. He's
Listen,
comfortable.
I also
he literally
understood
lives in a golden tower.
The appeal of Bloomberg for that same reason.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get any further.
That is kind of interesting because then he went ahead and dumped $100 million into Biden. I'm pretty sure he did because he said he would, right?
Yeah, he could have. I guess that's just at least there is.
You know why Bloomberg didn't win?
At least there is some hope there that you literally cannot just buy an election, because if anyone could, it was him.
It was him. He's actually wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was because he was short.
Maybe They couldn't get the camera angles right and make him look tall.
Yeah, you get on a debate stage with 17 other Republicans who are all 6'1", and you're 5'4".
It's true.
I don't know how tall he is. But
Most CEOs are tall. That's like
it is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's really disheartening.
It's annoying.
Honestly, because I'm like 5'8"
Yeah.
on a good day, right when I wake up.
Yeah.
And
They're all around 6'2", 6'3". I
Yep.
know our CEO is.
yeah, there's something about them
They all
being.
they all look the same look.
Yeah.
You could just show a picture of one and who's
Like-
that the CEO for? AT&T?
Yeah,
Sure. And except for like the 3 companies that have women CEOs.
right.
Xerox, I don't know.
And they're those women are probably like 5'11",
They're also 6'2",
Yeah.
6'5" with
That is a
heels.
real study though.
No, it is.
There's
I
real
did
there's real
see
data
that.
on that. It's crazy.
And they're not fat either, typically.
No. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
have you seen pictures of Mike Pompeo lately?
No?
Dude,
Did he get fatter?
either he got sick or got surgery or
Oh.
both. But there's speculation that he's maybe thinking about running for president, which is why he would
Oh.
lose a bunch of weight. So
Whatever.
we'd be fucked again with Pompeo. He's a piece of shit, man.
No, I know, but that's my thing is I'm kind of just
Nah,
like they
I
all
know.
are. I don't know. Until
I
I,
know,
can
but-
get to know
But all you can
until I
do
get to
is-
know a politician, a mainline politician as a person
Yeah.
and full on like a friend, like I could tell them and they could tell me stuff that they wouldn't tell anybody else. They're all dirtbags.
Well, and you can put up with being a dirtbag and even the power hungriness as long as their policies align with yours,
yeah, well, yeah.
right? And that's what we do.
And
We're like, of
it is.
course these guys are power hungry.
It is what we do, but what's frustrating is nothing is getting done
Right.
because they just play these stupid games.
Right.
These stupid, well, they did it, so we're going to do it.
Right.
Like, just shut the hell up and just do something.
Yeah.
And that's just back and forth in the
Debt
Senate.
ceiling
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And if you actually sit back and look at it, you're like, these people are 5.
Yeah.
This is preschool.
Yeah, I know.
And there's nothing we can do about that.
Right.
Sam's
the way-
drop a bomb on him like they do
Yeah.
in what is that Keith of their show, the Last Man or something?
Oh yeah, designated survivor.
Survivor.
Yeah. By the way, I was thinking about how young our democracy is, and how arrogant we are. I've worked a lot of sales jobs, and without a doubt, I've been this guy and I've seen this guy or girl. They're new. They come in and they fucking kill it.
Right.
Right? They destroy every metric, and somehow they just don't care. They're not necessarily arrogant about it, but they just kill everything. And then they eventually get arrogant, and then things start to decline, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view America.
Could
we're
be.
we're the new kid on the block who had a new idea of a new kind of democracy was already around, right? It was already around. So was republics, like that's Rome.
Okay.
Right? But we have this new idea. We're a very young country, and we kill it right out of the gate. Like we just the Industrial Revolution. We make more money than anyone else. We get a bigger military. We kick everyone's ass, and then like 200 years from now, China's gonna be like, we told you. They're the guy who's been selling for 35 years.
Right.
Who sits in the corner and just like hits quota just barely every month. You know.
I'm still on the fence as to whether this great experiment is going to work because and I know we've talked about this before.
Well, no matter when it ends,
and civil wars and that kind of thing. I'm not like super opposed to splitting up this country. I know that sounds stupid or weird or unpatriotic, but there may just get to a point where we just can't see eye to eye and it just isn't working.
I see what you're saying, and I've even gone the other direction, which was like, let's
take over the world.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, not America,
Yeah.
but like eventually this is gonna be one world government, right? Like,
if aliens ever come,
like, or Jesus. Like, it's just let's eventually.
or Jesus is an alien.
Eventually, we're all gonna start to kill each other so much that we're gonna have to. Leaders will get together and be like, okay, this is stupid. Like, we're both on the brink of extinction. Can we just find a way to get potatoes to people? You know, I don't know what it has to come to.
I don't know either.
But that's what people are afraid of, this new world order,
Right.
globalism. I'm like, why is globalism bad? We're all human beings. Why do you fucking hate everyone else in the world? There's nothing wrong with trying to see what might be good for Ethiopia as an American.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't understand. So
It's, I don't know. It's, who knows?
the long story short is we both still have some hope, which is why.
Oh, of course.
Which is why we think about these things.
I just, what the hell? Oh, it's windy at my house. Some of my trash fell out of my trash and it set off my
your
camera.
cameras.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything like a split up nation is going to happen probably in our lifetimes or maybe late in our lifetimes.
Well, I'm not even sure it would do any good.
Well, it would be hard just
Yeah.
because of the way we're blue on the outside and red on the inside.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe we just need to relax. You know, and to be fair, there's people on the majority of the people on the right are more like us than we.
Right.
We're just seeing this, and you know, it's not even that big a group of people.
No.
I mean, Trump's rallies are getting smaller and smaller,
Did you see him
and
tell
more
people?
Republicans are dying because
true.
they're not getting vaccinated every day.
Well, his latest blog was "Don't vote."
Great.
He told Republicans not to vote in 22 and 24 as like a boycott of some sort. Not sure if you know how a republic works.
Do you think that the Republican Party guys are like, whoa, 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 what?
I think half of them are, but then every once in a while, someone like I read about Chuck Grassley. He's been in the Senate for like 50 fucking years, right? And he's always been this guy who's kind of, you know, it's the stereotypical, he walks by the beat of his own drum. He's always done his own thing. And this headline was like, Chuck Grassley, you know, kneels to Trump. And it's like, oh. So half the Republicans are like, well, fucking Chuck, you're still towing this guy. He lost. Chuck, he lost.
I don't get it. I don't understand the.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I saw a TikTok of a guy though who said,
"Oh wow, Mike Pompeo has lost weight."
Yeah, he's like, you know, in jest, for a long time I've said that Trump was a Democratic plant. Now this is becoming more and more of a possibility, like it's almost real because he's telling people not to vote. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, how would I feel about Democrats if that was true?
That would be not great.
No, that's a long con that ended with a lot of pain, right?
Yeah.
A lot of suffering, a lot of death. I don't know how I would feel if the Democratic Party was really responsible for Trump.
I don't know how that would even be.
It's a long con.
Yeah.
We'll get this guy to serve one term. He'll tell people not to get vaccinated. We'll put out a pandemic.
That is crazy, right? It is. He is systematically disassembling the Republican Party.
So what if we found out that the Democrats were actually responsible for it?
That'd be awesome. I mean, it would be terrible, but it'd be a great movie.
It would be a great movie, but you'd also be like,
Chuck Schumer turns around with a cat.
I don't know how it would end. Like Trump walks into the boardroom with all the Democrats. Like, we did it.
Like Ocean's 12 style.
Yeah.
Or Ocean's 11.
We did it. Oh man, that's weird.
Oh man, I don't know.
We still have some hope, I guess.
Yeah. I'm less worried about politics and policy, and I'm more worried about climate change and the denying of it.
Here's the problem. Why this is so in our face is because of social media and the internet. And, and news,
for sure.
We are aware of every injustice, right? So when you say something like, "We really just need to relax," I agree, but then I'm also like, "But women in Texas," you know what I mean? So I can't back off of that. And then I'm like, "But there's a famine in Yemen," you know?
Remember we talked about that a little bit ago about at some point you just have to. Put it out because
we didn't know about all this shit.
You can
10 years ago.
You can altruistic yourself to death. Like if you sit and I don't know. At some point, you just have to live your life.
Yeah.
And just do what you can because
that's almost equal to
unless you get Bezos money and then don't be a dick about it. Then there's not a lot you can do for the famine in Yemen or women in Texas.
It's almost equal to not having hope. There's another word for it. We'll think of it. By the way, we didn't even talk about Shatner going to space and Bezos cutting him off mid-conversation.
Bezos is such a
Did
dick.
you see that?
First of all, William Shatner is known as being a dick, but Bezos is such a freaking weird.
Shatner was emotional, was crying, and was trying to explain how he felt. This is a man, a trained actor, right, who knows words
and is a known dick. So him doing that is
he's trying to speak about this experience. He's just gotten off the probe or whatever, the ship,
the shaft, the phallus,
the phallus, and mid-sentence Bezos cuts him off to get a bottle of champagne to spray.
Right.
Like it was like the deepest thought Shatner's probably ever had in his life. He's 90 years old.
Right.
It's the deepest thought, the deepest moment, the most moving moment he's ever had except for the birth of his children. And Bezos cuts him off to get a bottle of champagne. It was the most awkward shit I've ever seen in my life.
Bezos is an awkward dude, man.
It was worse than Karl Malone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after his last press conference, I'm surprised his people let him out. I mean, I just like to thank all of you people who gave me all this money. Oh, it's all your fault. You're the ones that let me do this, so fuck you guys.
Have you seen that Shatner's the sound of when he was in space has made the rounds on TikTok as a trend now?
Oh, really?
Because he's like, oh, Lord. Oh, my Lord. It's so funny.
I gotta listen to
Anyway, let's take a break, I guess.
Oh, wow. We haven't even taken our break yet?
No.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we'll have something when we come back.
We got random headlines or some shit.
I got to find them, but yeah.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
That gets me every time. Hey, by the way,
yeah,
find us at the Arctic Pod on TikTok or thearcticpodcast.com. Watch all of our
we
recorded
have
episodes.
Slacked off on TikTok.
It's true.
I should have, we lost like 40 followers.
Oh man,
we're still fine. We're well above 10,000 now.
There must be people who get banned.
You think?
I mean, why would you unfollow someone who's not posting?
I'm trying to think. The only people I've unfollowed were things that I followed, and then later I'm like, oh, this is racist, or I don't know.
That's true. I guess they could watch some of our. They watch the A10,
right?
And they watch our other content.
Oh, these guys are super hardcore. America. Oh, wait a second. They like the Taliban. No.
Yeah.
Wait, do we like? We don't like the Taliban, right?
No. I think that we should help the Taliban.
They don't want our help. Did you see that?
I know, but do you understand how many people in Afghanistan are going to die this winter?
I don't.
They're in full. It's a fully collapsed state.
Is it? Is that bad?
There's no currency. There's no banks. There's no jobs.
The news hasn't really been covering it now that we're not there.
It's completely failed. Like it's.
How embarrassing for the Taliban. And
it's collapsed.
They thought they had it on lock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when coalition forces are employing like half the country, and then the coalition pulls out in 2 days, what are you
I didn't even think about that.
So.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on with my internet here, but it's only letting me pull up certain pages. And
I turned on your filters.
That's what it feels. That's what it's like. I don't know. Anyway. So all the headlines you're going to get today is from NPR because that's the only thing that's pulling up.
That's an interesting place to find random headlines.
Well, it's strange news under NPR. I normally get them from NPR, HuffPost, or
Fox has an interesting
UPI.
strange section.
They do occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't like using them because they play ads and it always ends up coming on and it's annoying. But anyway, self-driving Waymo cars gather in a San Francisco neighborhood, confusing residents.
What's a Waymo car?
I think it's like a self-driving Uber. In a tiny neighborhood in San Francisco's Richmond district, self-driving Waymo cars have been converging at all hours of the day and night, mystifying neighbors. KPIX reported earlier this week. Oh, I said that. See, I couldn't be a news reporter because I missed the comma and anyway.
Have you seen that one that's like, A building burnt down due to a fire last night that was caused by a fire. Like, it's like, it repeats it like 3 times. Anyway.
Anyway, so these Waymo cars, these self-driving Ubers, are just going into the neighborhood, turning around and leaving.
So it's like when someone turns around in your driveway.
Yeah, but so it's been puzzling for residents. The cars aren't taking anyone to and fro, it says.
The programmers are like, look, we got to send them somewhere.
I get, well.
Like,
and then when locals ask the drivers why they're in the neighborhood, oh, they're not self-driving. Oh, but so there's people in them still.
oh, choked on my spit. So they're the ones like sitting behind the wheel, waiting to take over in case something goes bad.
Well, what's the point of self-driving cars?
Well, it's all testing.
Yeah.
But remember when that woman hit the guy on the bike?
Yeah.
Anyway.
The
car hit him.
So the car is just taking them there. I don't know. There's no explanation. My theory is they've gained sentience and they're plotting to kill us with the pigs.
Right. Yeah, they're mapping it out. They're mapping out the route.
The Waymo cars and wild boars are planning a hostile takeover of the United States. I'm going to put that on the prediction list.
I like it. I mean, once a week I see a headline about wild boar.
I know.
So
it's crazy. A zebra that escaped from a Maryland farm. Oh, I don't want to
Did you say zebra?
Yeah, a zebra.
It's a male
The
zebra.
zebra died. This isn't weird news. It's sad news.
Yeah, just can't get over a male zebra.
A zebra.
Zebro.
A box of Twinkies left alone for 8 years held some surprises for Colin Purrington. Upon having a sugar craving combined with being just so bored with the pandemic, Purrington opened the box a few weeks ago.
Ew, I think I found it.
Yeah.
Ew.
Like many people, Purrington believed Twinkies are basically immortal. Although the official shelf life is 45 days, he removed the Twinkie from the box, unwrapped it. It looked fine. Took a bite. Ew.
Why would you take a bite?
No, why not
break
split
it in half?
Split it first, right? And then realized that it was not good.
He bought them for sentimental reasons when Hostess declared bankruptcy.
That was the best thing ever because then Little Debbie's came in and replaced all the Hostess, and Little Debbie's are way better than
So
Hostess.
are these all 3 from his box? This one just has a higher level of mold.
I guess
It looks like ramen.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of dead spiders or something.
I mean, I imagine when they package these, they pump nitrogen into there.
Oh, I gotta remind me. Spiders just reminded me of something. We gotta get back to that.
Ew.
Don't let me forget. Anyway, so. Oh, that's the end of the story.
Right. Well, for those who don't,
It's a mystery. It's another mystery of the mummified Twinkie.
You don't watch it on.
Is it actually mummified? Like, what is mummifying? Is it like,
dried?
Like
removes all the liquid.
What is it? The wood, but it's like petrifying. Like
Petrifying?
No,
that's fossilizing. I don't know, but it looks like peanut butter. The filling on his looks like peanut butter.
I would just eat it. And be like, oh, this is not.
I'm suing Hostess.
For what? For being stupid. I'd probably win too.
Yeah.
A ninja with a sword. Okay, come on. A ninja with a sword assailed a U.S. Army Special Operations Unit in California. So the incident occurred a little after 1 a.m. in September on the 18th. When authorities in Richest, California got word of a sword-wielding man dressed as a ninja on the loose. If someone reported that there was a ninja on the loose in your neighborhood, would you lock the doors or like pull out your dueling knife or?
It's a free country. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Whatever. They kill ninjas all the time. The police do. They did one.
I know, and they got lit up about it.
Yeah, they did. The attack came without any warning.
Wait, he attacked people?
Yeah, he attacked the army.
The whole army.
They all happened to be in California.
It was like a Pearl Harbor situation.
All what is it, 1 million service members or whatever. The suspect had assaulted a victim at the scene with a sword and thrown a rock through a hangar window, hitting an additional victim in the head.
Well, that is a ninja skill. To be able to go through a window and break it and still
That's true.
hit your target. That was no accident, my friend.
The victims are members of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, or SOAR.
SOAR.
According to the Stars and Stripes newspaper, which states that the military personnel were at the airport as part of a training exercise, whatever. The incident report quickly drew attention after it was posted on Instagram. It must have been a super secret military exercise. Quick, Jen, put it on Instagram.
Right.
It describes how. Wait, so he didn't.
Turns out that this was training, but the word didn't get out.
Well, ninjas and ISIS dress relatively similar.
Right.
So
really, you don't know
it
until
could
you
have just
look at
been
the.
an ISIS guy with a sword.
You don't know until you look at the steel.
Right.
You got to know.
Right. The incident report quickly drew attention after it was posted on Instagram. It describes how a staff sergeant was smoking a late-night cigarette near an airport hangar when an unknown person wearing full ninja garb approached him with a question. You know, if you reported this without, if there was no evidence to support it,
Right? Yeah.
it was a ninja.
I swear it was a ninja.
The man asked, "Do you know who I am?" The sergeant said he did not. "Do you know where my family is?" When the sergeant said he did not know, the person in ninja garb began to slash at him with a katana sword. The report states, adding that the sergeant's leg and phone were struck.
Wow. Good thing his phone was there.
Yeah. The sergeant ran, jumped a fence. Apparently the ninja can jump the fence.
Not with the sword.
I bet
in his hand.
this was a fat guy. I guarantee you this is a
It's
fat
a Beverly Hills ninja.
yeah. The sergeant ran, jumped a fence, and reached a building where he joined others from his company. And as he and the captain locked the doors and called 911, the assailant kicked and punched doors and windows, according to the report, which has redacted the service members' names. I'm telling you, if I was that captain and my sergeant came in and was like, "Holy shit, guys, lock the doors! There's a ninja outside!
There's a ninja.
He's got a sword!
ISIS is here.
Like, okay, Sergeant Jones.
I see they used projectile rounds, but were ineffective, so they had to tase him. 35-year-old Gino Rivera, or Gino. I don't know how you say it.
China.
That's for you, T. Mitch. Freaking Gino. Gino Rivera.
I really want to see what this guy looks like, so I just Googled him to see.
Does he look like a Gino?
I'm assuming he looks like a mentally disturbed person, but
As I typed it into Google, I typed Gina.
I'm not getting any solid pictures of.
No.
Of him.
There's a wrestler named Gino Rivera. That's why.
Oh, this guy, I want to know if he's fat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
if we're gonna
look.
find
Okay.
it.
There's
Look at this. Is this armless guy?
Wait, is that guy? Oh.
Things went wrong.
Based on this picture of the guy's butt, I can basically confirm that he is a larger fellow.
Okay. Beverly Hills Ninja.
So yeah, those are
Real life.
Those are the random headlines.
I like them.
Super random this week. There's also one that says cockroaches are cool, but I don't want to.
That's just not true, so we don't have to listen. By the way, speaking of swords, did you see the member of Parliament in England?
Oh yeah,
was stabbed
at
a town hall event at a church and killed.
Yeah.
But in the story I read, is on the AP,
Uh-huh.
it went on to describe how this has happened several other times this decade in England.
Really?
A dude killed a representative's aide and injured the representative with a sword at a town hall event.
What?
Weird. Like, it's like a frequent...
Do they not have...
It's like shootings in America is...
Well, that's what happens when you don't have gun control. You need to have sword control.
It's true. See, it doesn't matter
Look,
what you control.
people have been dying in England by sword since the medieval times. Just ask King Arthur.
Yeah.
All right? And the Round Table. They will tell you.
Yeah. I mean, they cut that round table right
That
in
is
half.
super. And they said that it's an act of terror.
Yeah. Oh, and then did you see Norway?
Uh-uh.
The guy with the bow and arrow?
Oh,
killed
yeah,
like
I did hear about
12
that.
people or something with the
Yeah.
bow and arrow?
See, that makes more sense as an act of terror. Just killing a Congress member doesn't seem like much of an act of terror.
You shouldn't say just, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying
killing a member
normally
of
the
Congress.
goal of a terrorist is to inflict as much damage as possible,
Right.
not go after one, individual.
Yeah. I guess you know what it always comes down to motive, and then you got to prove it.
Yeah, I
Right.
suppose that's true.
Speaking of killers, Nicholas Cruz, Parkland shooter,
Oh, yeah.
is going to plead guilty,
Well, that's good because he did it.
but there's actually no deal was made with the prosecution.
Oh, he's just like,
So the prosecution is still seeking the death penalty to be decided by a jury.
oh, that's normally why people will plead guilty is to avoid the death penalty.
Try and get life without. So he does have to get. The jury has to be unanimous
Do you?
to get the death penalty.
What do you think about him and the death penalty? I know I don't really want to get into death penalty debate right now.
No, I'm basically fully opposed to the death penalty. I'm still curious. We talked about this a few episodes ago. And I'm still curious about victims'
Mm-hmm.
families
after
the perpetrator has been killed. I want to know how they feel.
Well, we did talk about that because there was a couple murder a documentary about someone that had been sentenced to death row and he kept getting appealed and how much it was affecting the family and how they were relieved when he finally was executed.
Right. But
that's just one
I
example.
think I posed the argument, which was, had he just been convicted of life without the possibility of parole, the finality would be there, right?
I suppose. I think.
I mean,
it probably just depends.
Everybody's idea of justice can be different,
If you have this like crazy feeling in the back of your mind that they're going to escape,
right?
but
I think I would want.
I think
If I wanted someone to suffer,
Right.
I would want them to be in prison.
no, I agree.
And I'd go visit
the
them.
death penalty kind of almost seems like a too quick of a.
Yeah, I'd go visit them and be like, "How's your stay?"
Well, they should get like the worst, like not just be. I don't know.
Well, they probably do get 23 hours of lockdown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know. So no, I'm pretty much opposed to the death penalty.
Right. We might lose it here in Utah.
Yeah. It's just it's a weird punishment
Yeah.
when that's what we're punishing you for.
Right.
I don't know.
Speaking of killers and killing, I don't know if you saw my conundrum on Facebook that I
Oh.
posted about.
No. I'm sorry. I'm not on the book very much.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a conundrum. Now, as you may know, I don't kill spiders
It's true. He's
Any-
actually very passionate about it. This is no joke.
anymore.
Yeah.
And
Not since the
I
accident.
know Ethan got so mad at me.
Yeah.
He genuinely seemed pretty pissed off.
Yeah, he was. I think it was for Steph's sake, but he was genuinely mad. Yeah.
I
think
wasn't
so.
going to kill him, man.
I
I knew where it was the whole time, too. I saw it. I didn't let him know where it was.
You told him to hide.
Yeah.
Spider speak.
So there I am the other day putting up one of my cameras, and I look down, and I'm like, oh. And there's a giant black widow. And mind you, I have not seen a lot of black widows, but this one was big.
Honestly, I know they're here.
Uh-huh.
I
This is my first time seeing them here in Utah.
I think I've seen maybe one.
And so I was like, okay, I took some pictures, got kind of close. It was eating one of those nasty, what are those red bugs that come every year?
Like a box elder bug?
Yeah, box elder
Yeah.
bug. And so I was like, all right, I'm not going to do anything right now. And then
Did you say anything to it? Like
I said,
I'm not gonna hurt
I
you.
said I'm not going to do anything about it right now.
out loud? I just want to
I
know
don't
if you
know.
talked to the
I
spider.
might have. I did. Oh, no, because there was a cable guy there at the time and putting in my internet, and I was like, "Dude, have you ever seen a giant black widow?" And he's like, "No."
So you at least informed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, come to find out, I should have informed him more because as I'm looking down the side of my house, there's
So you need to get a.
there's a lot of black widow, not big ones, mind you. There are two that I found that are quite large.
But you found multiple black widows on the outside of your house,
Yeah.
and we're headed into winter.
More than 5.
Dude. Just get some spray, man.
Oh, I don't want to kill them,
No,
man.
no.
They're just
No,
being spiders.
Here's the deal. So we have Moxie
Uh-huh.
that comes and sprays our house,
Uh-huh.
and it's not like I find dead spider carcasses. I think that they avoid it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, there are sprays that kill them.
I just feel bad, man. They're
But I
just
think
being
if you
spiders.
continually spray around your house,
Right.
it's more of a it keeps them out. It doesn't just kill
Right.
them when they run into it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a
No,
control.
I'm probably going
But-
to have to.
but I'm a little worried about you.
Well, there has not been a I looked into it to see how poisonous they really are, and it's not nearly as bad as people make it out to be.
Venomous. Yes.
Yes. And at first I was like, well, maybe there's a predator that likes black widows that I can,
Like a cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that eats black widows are a praying mantis occasionally.
Mm.
Everything else gets sick if they eat it.
So you'd be okay releasing a swarm of praying
Mantis?
mantis,
I don't know, man. They're creepy.
but knowing that the end result would be a dead black widow. But you're not okay with even though it's an artificial
At least-
circle of life.
At least it's going.
I mean, you could kill it and take their bodies to praying manti. Like take their bodies
I
and
think,
dump them
I think
into.
praying mantis need to hunt.
It's like the freaking goat on
yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the only other animal besides praying mantis, and praying mantis don't eat them very often because they're
Just out of necessity.
they're a sizable opponent. But the only other animal that eats them are black widows.
They eat each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, I could release a
No,
bunch of black
Dude,
widows,
here's the deal, though,
and
man.
then they could have a war, and they
But
could
you-
try to form a government, and there could be coups, and eventually.
the problem is
I got like nuclear spider explosions going off as they develop. They split the atom, and
yeah. The problem is that we're getting hard freezes at night.
right,
So they're gonna find a way into your house.
right. The last reported death from a black widow was 1982. So
In Utah,
no, in general,
anywhere.
yeah,
Well, that's refreshing.
yeah.
I mean, you might lose a leg, but you don't die.
No, I don't even. I don't even think it's that bad. And apparently, they can bite you and not release venom too, if they choose.
I wonder
So-
if it hurts.
Yeah, apparently it's a pretty painful bite, I guess.
No, like it hurts them to release venom.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure. It
I don't know,
hurts.
if it felt good, they'd probably be like
pretty sure
releasing venom all the time.
Causes like
Oh.
it's like necrotizing fasciitis. I think.
So I don't know. I guess I gotta get some spray and just freaking do it. But I don't know. I don't like it.
Like I said, It doesn't. There are sprays that will kill them.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it creates a barrier that they just don't want to pass. Like like it smells bad or some shit to them. I don't know. But I don't think they like. It's not like they walk up to it and just keel over.
It does. Some of it does.
I know, but the ones that they come spray quarterly.
Right.
Otherwise, you would have like a distinct line around your house.
That I did that once. I bug bombed my basement when I lived in a basement. One of them many times. And I came home and there were a lot
Yeah.
of dead spiders. I was like,
Well, what's the stat? We've talked about the stat before. It's
Oh,
like
it was-
you're always
there's
within
like
7
always there's always one close by.
feet. Yeah, I'm sure they're in our
Within
ceiling.
the walls, the ducts.
Our ceiling dampeners up here.
But they're good. Spiders eat other spiders. They
No, I'm not.
eat box elder bugs.
Listen, I'm not anti-spider.
They eat mosquitoes.
I'm not spiderist. I just think that when the risk is that they could come in your house and bite you in your sleep and you could lose
I
a toe.
wonder if there's any like spider collectors that will come get them.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, people who collect the venom and put it on like arrows.
Terror ensues in Salt Lake.
Yeah. They eat the venom to develop a tolerance. Like
I'm not taking no vaccine. Give me that Black Widow.
iocane. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
That's good.
Thanks everybody.
That's,
We appreciate your patience as you waited for this episode to come out. Hopefully Spencer mixes it really fast.
I have to make a logo for somebody, but I will.
Find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, or thearcticpodcast.com, where you can see Spencer's shirt designs and listen to every episode or watch them for free.
Or pay us. I don't know.
Or pay us. Yeah. For episode 119, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.